In this movie, we're gonna install Postgresql, Pgadmin, and Postgis for special functionality. Let's start by going to postgresql.org. On the index page, we're gonna click on Download. And on the next page, we're gonna choose the operating system we are using. If you are using Windows, click on Windows. I'm using Mac OS. I'm gonna click on Mac OS. And we are going to use the installer, so we want to click on Download the installer. And on the next page, we have all the versions available to us. I'm going to choose the latest version for Mac OS X. And we're going to wait for the package to download. Perfect. I'm going to double click on the package we just downloaded. I'm going to click on Open. Alright, now we have the setup wizard here. We're going to click on Next to get started. This is where the package will be installed. Click Next. Wonderful. We want to keep all those boxes checked, and that's where we're gonna install on our computer. And Stack Builder is what allows us to install Postgis. Click Next. Click Next. Perfect. And we're gonna set up our password for to log in into Pgadmin. We're gonna choose something very short and simple, easy to remember. Type it. Click Next. Perfect. This is the port where the server will be listening on. Click Next. And Next. Next. And click Next. And we're gonna wait for it to finish the installation. Perfect. Finished installing. I'm gonna leave it as it is and click Finish. Wonderful. So this is the Stack Builder to install Postgis. So we're gonna choose the version of SQL we just installed, and then we're gonna click Next. Wonderful. So here we can either set up our database from the get-go, or we can do it later. We can always come back later. But at the bottom, click the drop-down arrow for special extensions, and check the box for Postgis, because that's the version of Postgis we'll be installing. Click Next. Next. And we're gonna wait for Postgis to install. Depending on your system, it might take a few seconds. We're finished installing. I'm gonna click Next. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds to start. That shouldn't take too long. Perfect, and I'm gonna click on Finish, and we finished downloading our product. Perfect, can close that window now. Wonderful. Now we're gonna go to I'm gonna go to my application folder, and I'm gonna look for Postgresql 14, and that's where all the tools were installed. I'm gonna start Pgadmin4. Perfect. I'm gonna give it a few seconds to load in and start. It's always a bit slower at the beginning, but shouldn't take more than 10 seconds. Perfect. Now we gotta put in the password we use in the setup. Perfect. Click OK. Great. And we are logged in into pgadmin. So we go to servers, click the drop down arrow. And we have all the default servers installed. I'm gonna right click, register, and server. Click server to create a new server. Perfect. We're gonna give it a name. I'm gonna use Geo, and that's what we'll be using in the next course. And then we go to connection tab. Perfect. And we use localhost. So you can either use localhost or the IP address 127.0.0.1, because we're gonna use it locally. We're not gonna connect to a remote server. Here we're gonna use localhost, and then that's the port will be the server will be listening on 5432, and then we're gonna create a new password for this database that we just created. I'm gonna use the same one I used to log into pgadmin. Keep things simple. Save, and here we are. We just created our server here. We don't need the default server, so I'm just gonna go ahead and delete them. So right click, and you can scroll down to remove server, and then yes, and we'll repeat the action for the other two. Perfect. And same thing here. Click yes. That's it. Now it's nice and clean. Wonderful. Click the drop down arrow, and here, this is our database here. Perfect. So our database is Postgres. That's the default. We can create another one if you'd like, but we're gonna stay with that. We're gonna keep things simple. Click the drop down arrow on schemas, and we can see where the functionalities are. Now we're gonna go to tools, and then query tool. Load. Perfect. And we're gonna create our extension so we can load the functionalities into the database we just created. So we're gonna type in create extension and PostGIS. Perfect. You can hit F5 or click the play button to execute the query. Perfect. It executed successfully, and we have just imported the functions into our new database. So right click and then refresh, and we have all our functions imported into our new database. And then you refresh the table, and you see like the new table that just created when we run the create extension query. In future movies, we will cover each topic with more depth. Thank you for watching.